President Obama and Donald Trump have one thing in common. They're both ripping the news media.
It's all about ratings.
Really a terrible group of people.
We'll examine how national media coverage has affected the race and how the race is affecting the media. We'll bring in Evan Axelbank, who spent the day at the Trump rally in Lakeland, show the new leaks that are giving the Clinton camp fits, and break down the rift in the Republican Party and where we go from here. Plus, Scott Smith is back for our weekly quiz show. This is Money, Power, and Politics. Well, Hillary Clinton is getting new headaches every day from leaked emails that make her campaign look bad. And at the same time, Donald Trump has tanked in the polls. He's getting shunned by Republican leaders. In fact, Wall Street Journal polling shows nearly a quarter of Republican voters now want to dump Trump. And House Speaker Paul Ryan won't even be seen with him.
Now, I think I'm better off maybe without their support.
Well, the Trump campaign is blaming GOP leaders for betraying him and claiming the media is taking him down with unfair coverage.
Well, we feel disappointed because if we had more complete coverage and less biased coverage, I do feel that Mr. Trump would be able to get his message out in a way that would benefit the voters.
The Trump tape, in which he brags about kissing and groping women without their consent, has drawn a lot of attention lately. But the spotlight shifts. Just a couple of weeks ago, the national media spotlight focused on Clinton's health scare, for example, and has focused on her email troubles for months. That spotlight moves from day to day, and candidates are tested based on how they deal with it. It's interesting. Many Democrats accuse the media of going too soft on Trump, while many Republicans accuse the media of going too hard on him. So we'll break down the arguments from both sides in the second half of our show. But first, it's Wednesday night, time for our interactive quiz show on the oddball moments in politics. And as always, Scott Smith is here to help us make the call.
In sports, Scott Smith makes us call the plays. But in politics, we put him to the test. Time now for Call It with Scott Smith.
All right, let's welcome back Scott Smith. Boy, you've had a great run here. You're looking good. The average is looking good. Let's take a look at the scoreboard here. Yeah, you are making some hay here.
Not where I'd like to be, though.
Oh, but you're getting there.
This is demand more out of myself.
Pretty good. Well, this is a good opportunity for you to make up some more ground here. You're on quite a roll here. We're going to start with our own junior Senator Marco Rubio.
Okay.
He says something pretty interesting here. Take a look.
A world where more people are free to grow their economies, free to pursue their dreams, free to become prosperous.
They're free to become prosperous. Easy enough for me to say. What happens next? Does he blank out because he forgets the last page of his speech? Mm-hmm. Does he blank out because he reaches for water and there is no water there and people kind of laugh at him?
Yeah.
Does he tell a horribly cringeworthy, corny joke and instead of getting laughter, draws booze for it? Or D, does he realize at that moment that his pants are unzipped?
D, I don't think D is possible.
Yeah.
We've seen
said that before, my friend.
Has he?
No, you said that before. It's not possible.
You're right.
Like
I
the
have.
Congressman who said that Guam was going to tip over and capsize.
I know. I didn't think that someone could think that way. Okay, I'm going to go. Let's go C. Let's see.
Corny joke.
Yeah, corny joke.
Does he tell the cringeworthy corny joke? Take a look.
Free to become prosperous. I left my last page of the speech. Does anybody have my last page?
Oh, no! You were doing so well.
I had that's where I wanted to go
that
again.
Was your second
See,
that was
whenever
your gut.
I'm torn,
sometimes you have to follow your gut feeling on these things.
Always,
We're staying with a Senate theme this time. We're going to Ted Cruz. This is one of those kind of famous moments for Ted Cruz on the floor where he said something very interesting that sort of relates to Star Wars. Star Wars. Take a look.
Okay.
And I will confess that phrase, a rebellion against oppression, conjured up to me the Rebel Alliance fighting against the Empire.
Fighting against the Empire. What does he say next? Does he, A, say that he cried when they shot down Porkins? That would be in A New Hope, episode 4. He does a very bad impression of Emperor Palpatine, something to the effect of
can I full disclosure?
Yeah.
I don't know any of these characters.
All right, well, you're at a
This is going to be bad for me.
That's right. He says, it is you, Mike Lee, who are mistaken about a great many things. Or does he do a bad impression of Vader? Mike Lee, I am your father, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or does he do a very bad impression of Lando, something to the effect of, Mike Lee, you slimy, no good swindler. You got a lot of guts coming here after what you pulled.
It's got to be B or D.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Palpatine. Let's go B.
B, Palpatine. Let's take a look.
Mike Lee, I am your father.
No! It was Vader! It was Vader. Oh, no. All right.
Not a great impression, by the way.
No, I set it up that way.
Yeah.
I said that was not going to be the best. Next up, we have Florida Senator Bill Nelson. We're staying with Florida. We're staying with the Senate.
He got me before.
Yeah, he got you before. Here we go. Take a look at Nelson.
When I was in the military.
Well, when he was in the military, something happened when he was in the military.
What could that have been?
What could it have been? Is it A, leather boots were still in style for manly footwear? B, we don't take no trips on LSD.
Yeah.
That's what he said. C, he said, I looked and sounded like Forrest Gump. Could be, I don't know. Or D, said he had the best intercourse of his life.
No, that's not possible. See, that's one of those.
You think I'm getting you there? And am I getting you there, or do you really
I don't know.
That?
I think you're baiting me.
I'm baiting you?
But.
Right. Take the bait. Are you going to take the bait? Or are you going to go another
Yes,
way?
D.
D. All right, let's take a look.
No.
When I was in the military, certainly all the intercourse that I had as a military officer was the best.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. All the intercourse he had was the best.
I didn't see it coming.
That's right.
I didn't trust my gut.
Remembering his days in the service. All right, we have Representative Mike Bost.
Okay.
Of Illinois. He's having a discussion about the pension issues in that state. Well, let's take a look here.
Total power in one person's hands.
All right.
Total power in one person's hands.
Total power in one person's hands. Does he, A, at that point then throw a comical fit, throws up his bills in the air and hits those darn bills with his fist?
That could be possible.
Does a fellow lawmaker move in to pat him on the shoulder to calm him down and it starts a fight?
Ooh.
Does he say, "Oh, heck, I quit," to rousing applause from the chamber? Or D, it's a setup. He eats a Snickers bar and says he feels much better now, to rousing applause and laughter.
I'm going to go A,
Yeah.
throws a fit, darn Bill's fist.
Let's see if he does it. Take a look.
Total power in one person's hands. Not the American way. These damn bills that come out here all the damn time. Come out here at the last second. I gotta try to
Yes!
vote for my
Yes! There it is. There it is.
There we
Boy,
go.
that is a classic,
Okay.
right? But it doesn't end there. And we're going to
Gotta
end
go.
on this one.
Gotta keep
We're going
going,
to end
yeah.
on this one. You got to keep going. The question is, how does that little tirade, that little fit that he throws, how does it conclude? Are his final words, A, honey, where's the Tylenol?
I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
That could be it. B, I feel like someone being released from Egypt. Let my people go. When's it going to stop?
Oh, man.
Is it C, well then I just hate you and I hate your bleep face? Wow. Or is it D, kids don't like eating at school, but if they have a remains of the day lunchbox, they're a lot happier.
That is so
Kinda
bizarre.
random, that is bizarre. It's not baiting you here, or does
I'm
she
gonna
say-
go. I'm gonna go A again. I think
A.
maybe a moment of comic relief. Honey, where's my Tylenol?
All right, take a look.
I feel like somebody trying to be released from Egypt. Let my people go! When's it gonna stop?
Wow.
It is. Oh, so
Look at
close.
that.
He should have said that.
That
but-
was good, though. I
but
like
that
that
was
ending,
a classic.
too.
All right. Well, I like the ending. Well, not the ending, but I like the way this round played out.
Could have
It was a
been
pretty good
better.
round.
Yeah.
It could have been worse too. You're doing all right.
It's
I
true.
think you're in the
Could
heat of
always
a
be
playoff
worse.
run right now. So we're going to have to play it out again next week. Let's take a look at the scoreboard here. Yeah. See, you're doing okay. You've got to feel good about those numbers, especially
don't.
with a few teams that you can knock out next week. All right, Scott.
Good.
Thank you much.
Coming up, we'll show you how the new voting registration deadline changes the race in Florida. We'll examine the national media coverage, and Evan Axelbank spent the day with the Trump campaign in Lakeland.
A Gallup survey this year found faith in news media dropped to an all-time low, and that ties in part to politics because Democrats and Republicans are both ripping the news media for different reasons.
You show crime stories and you show fires, because that's what folks watch. It's all about ratings.
If you like the media, give them a big hand. And if you don't, give them a big boo. I had a feeling.
Well, as Murrow put it, journalists strive to teach, illuminate, and inspire our community. And in many different ways, the news media can always do better on that. But now journalists are caught in a crossfire because Democrats and Republicans are accusing journalists of going too soft on one side or the other. First, here's President Obama with the case against the media that has turned off Democrats.
There are serious issues at stake in this election. behind all the frivolous stuff that gets covered every day. I sure do get frustrated with the way this campaign is covered.
Yeah, the president accused journalists of pandering to Donald Trump for ratings, which would drive Democrats who buy into that to dislike the media.
Guys in the back, I'm just telling you the truth about how I feel about this. Do you mind if I just vent for a second?
Well, President Obama's made the case that the news media enabled Trump and is therefore responsible for his rise in politics by not asking tough questions.
The electorate would be better served if that happened. It would be better served if billions of dollars in free media came with serious accountability.
Well, Trump has dominated news coverage since last summer, and Obama framed much of that coverage as gossip and fluff as opposed to the mission of political journalism.
But it's to probe and to question and to dig deeper and to demand more.
And so that argument that Trump is getting a pass has been embraced by Democrats who bash and accuse the media of being unfair in Trump's favor. But at the same time, many Republicans are embracing Trump's opinion that the media is being unfair in Clinton's favor. So they bash the media too.
The press is very, very dishonest, and I think people are wise to them.
To Trump's point, while he has received a fortune worth of media coverage, much of it has painted him in a negative light.
That's a typical case of the press with misinterpretation. They take a 0.5%.
From the Trump tape in which he bragged about groping and kissing women without their consent to investigations into his business dealings like Trump University and his losses from 1995, yes, reporters have been digging into Donald Trump quite a bit, and Trump does not like it.
They're scum. So bad, so illegitimate. They are just terrible people.
Pretty good percentage is really a terrible group of people.
So if journalists fueled Trump, they didn't just do it by rolling over, as President Obama claims. They also fired up his base by piling on with accusations they cannot fully prove.
You got to see this guy. I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
Yeah, case in point, headline, Trump mocks reporter with disability. The New York Times and others convicted him, though Trump insisted he did not know the reporter he was quoting was disabled. So as we noted at the time, while it may look as if Trump may have mocked a disabled man, Trump is so animated you could also claim that he's mocking ping pong players or people with vertigo or someone choking on dinner. So while soft coverage appears to have turned off one side, harsh media coverage appears to have turned off the other, and each side tends to follow perspective that fits their worldview, so they don't see where the other side is coming from. And the Gallup study shows we've seen a deeper dip in Republican faith in the media, and that goes back to a long-running distrust of national media that goes way beyond Trump.
You know, the Democrats have the ultimate super PAC. It's called the mainstream media.
This BS coming from the lamestream media.
Yeah, Republican distrust of the mainstream media really took off years ago with Richard Nixon.
I have never heard or seen such outrageous, vicious, distorted reporting in 27 years of public life.
When Nixon became president and TV journalists questioned his war policy in Vietnam, he dispatched his vice president, Spiro Agnew, to declare war on the mainstream media.
The people of this country have the right to make up their own minds and form their own opinions about a presidential address without having the president's words and thoughts characterized through the prejudices of hostile critics before they can even be digested.
Well, Nixon went on to rally what he called a silent majority to challenge his media critics and drive his reelection. And then journalists challenged him and took him down later over Watergate. Nixon framed it as a media feeding frenzy driven by a liberal agenda, and it stuck again long after Nixon. And now that distrust is amplified with Trump's claims that the media is, what did he say?
They're scum. Absolute scum. Remember that. Scum.
So earlier, I asked John Wilson to weigh in on the race and the media.
This is John Wilson's My View Now.
All right, time for John Wilson, My View Now. So let's start with President Obama criticizing the political media for not going harder after Donald Trump. And you've got Donald Trump saying that the media is no good because it's going too hard after him. Who's got it right?
President Obama's got that one right. The media needs to really be focusing on Donald Trump, as they need to be doing on Hillary Clinton as well. She was asked a series of questions, one after the other, about one single subject. The media now gets focused on one subject, seldom goes on to a follow-up. You need to be challenging these candidates with 3 and 4 follow-up questions, but you need to be calling them out on it, and it took a reporter like Chris Wallace to be able to do that.
With Hillary Clinton, yes.
With Hillary Clinton. I'd like to see the same thing done with Donald Trump. That needs to be done with Donald Trump. But you can't let him get off on these generalized statements he keeps making about how he would make things happen. How are we going to afford this? How are we going to pay for this? How would you carry this out? He gets off easy, and I don't know why it is, Craig. Here he's a daily target of the media. They should be able to focus on him without getting thrown out of a meeting, you know, and really try to get some answers.
Coming up, Evan Axelbank spent the day with Trump supporters in Lakeland, and Governor Scott loses another court battle over voter registration.
A federal judge extended Florida's deadline for voter registration yet again. The new deadline is October 18th. The judge pushed it back because of Hurricane Matthew and it disrupting people's lives for the better part of a week. Governor Scott did not want to extend the deadline, so Democrats took him to court and prevailed. In terms of politics, this appears to help the Democrats simply because people who register near the deadline tend to be Democrats. Meanwhile, Republicans rallied today with Donald Trump in Lakeland, and Evan Axelbank shows us how Trump revved them up.
Well, what we heard today from Donald Trump was essentially a doubling down of the strategy that helped him win the Republican primary. Take a look. We heard no apologies or contrition from him about the audio tape of him talking about women that leaked over the weekend. In fact, he said it didn't even seem possible that polls show him losing the female vote because he says everywhere he goes, he sees so many women for Trump signs. He also repeated his promise to appoint a special prosecutor to look into punishing Hillary Clinton over the email scandal. He said he would build a wall along the Mexican border and that he would fix manufacturing, the environment, education, inner cities, the steel industry, and bring back jobs en masse to the United States. He is doubling down on his insistence that America is broken. Donald Trump promises to do 4 to 6 rallies a day until Election Day, and indeed his numbers have to improve in the state of Florida if he has any hope of winning the White House. We're in Lakeland, Evan Axelbank for Money, Power, and Politics.
Coming up, controversy in Pinellas County and the battle between Jolly and Crist, and more trouble for the Clinton camp after more leaked emails.
Well, Congressman David Jolly is furious about this ad put up by the DCCC, the Democratic Congressional Committee, showing Trump and Jolly side by side, or so we think. It's photoshopped. His head is superimposed on other people. Jolly saying, wait a minute, I wasn't with Donald Trump. In fact, I said as early as last year he was unfit to serve. Meanwhile, more headaches for the Clinton camp over her leaked emails and her campaign's leaked emails, the latest being notices in which she appears to be very sympathetic to Wall Street interests and speeches that she gave. That will continue to be an issue in this race. That's our show tonight. We will see you again tomorrow night. Take care.